René Desparvieu. Their brother Gaëtan, on the contrary, the country gentleman, failed to attain to faith. He was an agnostic, a term commonly employed by the modish to avoid the odious one of freethinker, and he openly declared himself an agnostic, contrary to the admirable custom which deems it better to withhold the avowal. In the century in which we live, there are so many modes of belief and of unbelief that future historians will have difficulty in finding their way about. But are we any more successful in disentangling the condition of religious beliefs in the time of Symmachus or of Ambrose? A fervent Christian, René Desparvieu was deeply attached to the liberal ideas his ancestors had transmitted to him as a sacred heritage. Compelled to oppose a Jacobin and atheistical republic, he still called himself Republican. And it was in the name of liberty that he demanded the independence and sovereignty of the Church. During the long debates on the separation and the quarrels over the inventories, the synods of the bishops and the assemblies of the faithful were held in his house. While the most authoritatively accredited leaders of the Catholic party, prelates, generals, senators, deputies, journalists, were met together in the big green drawing-room, and every soul present turned towards Rome with a tender submission or enforced obedience, while Monsieur Desparvieu, his elbow on the marble chimney-piece, opposed civil law to canon law, and protested eloquently against the spoliation of the Church of France, two faces of other days, immobile and speechless, looked down on the modern crowd. On the right of the fireplace, painted by David, was Romain Boussard, a working farmer at Éparvieu in shirt sleeves and drill trousers, with a rough and ready air not untouched with cunning. He had good reason to smile. The worthy man laid the foundation of the family fortunes when he bought church lands. On the left, painted by Gerard in full dress, bedizened with orders, was the peasant's son, Baron Émile Boussard Desparvieu, prefect under the Empire, keeper of the Great Seal under Charles X, who died in 1837, churchwarden of his parish, with couplets from La Pucelle on his lips. René Desparvieu married in 1888 Marie Antoinette Coupel, daughter of Baron Coupel, ironmaster at Blainville, Haute-Loire. Madame René Desparvieu had been president since 1903 of the Society of Christian Mothers. These perfect spouses, having married off their eldest daughter in 1908, had 3 children still at home, a girl and 2 boys. Léon, the younger, aged 7, had a room next to his mother and his sister Berthe. Maurice, the elder, lived in a little pavilion comprising 2 rooms at the bottom of the garden. The young man thus gained a freedom which enabled him to endure family life. He was rather good-looking, smart without too much pretense, and the faint smile which merely raised one corner of his mouth did not lack charm. At 25, Maurice possessed the wisdom of Ecclesiastes. Doubting whether a man hath any profit of all his labor which he taketh under the sun, he never put himself out about anything. From his earliest childhood, this young hopeful's sole concern with work had been considering how he might best avoid it, and it was through his remaining ignorant of the teaching of the École de Droit that he became a doctor of law and a barrister at the Court of Appeal. He neither pleaded nor practiced. He had no knowledge and no desire to acquire any, wherein he conformed to his genius, whose engaging fragility he forbore.